Hello there and welcome to the series of videos going through the content of A-Level Further Maths. Here we're looking at complex numbers so we can answer questions from exercise 1A/B inside the A-Level Further Maths textbook. Now during these series of videos we're going to be looking at what we need to know for the A-Level Further Maths exam, what we need to know for the course, what techniques we need to develop, and if you're interested in looking into how we can use these in real life or where they're derived from, then I'll try and put a link in the description down below. So where do we first maybe come across a point in which we maybe could use complex numbers? And if we think about the quadratic formula, we have this square root part here. And if we're looking at how many intersections we have on the x-axis, maybe with a quadratic graph, then we use this formula to find out how many solutions we have or how many roots there are in a quadratic equation. The part that's inside this square root is sometimes called the discriminant. If that value is positive, then great, you can do the square root of a value, which will give you 2 real roots. If that value is exactly equal to 0, you're not square rooting anything then, so your solution is just minus b over 2a. But if that value was negative, we would say that, well, we can't square root a negative value, so therefore there are no solutions. You can't do that question. There's no solutions to that question. So what we're going to do is we're going to derive a piece of maths that we can use to be able to square root a negative value. And what we're going to use is the letter I. The I value here represents an imaginary number, so that's the square root of minus 1. We're going to use that as a base number and then develop some maths from there. Maybe work out what square root of minus 2 is, square root of minus 3 is, always using this letter I here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to call this the imaginary part. So every complex number that you can think of can be split up into a combination of real parts and a combination of imaginary parts. And this 2i term here is effectively representing the square root of minus 4. Now the reason why it's the square root of minus 4 is because, as you'll see, we can split square root of 4 up into square root of 4 times square root of minus 1. Square root of 4 is 2, and then square root of minus 1 we always use as I. So that's why it's the square root of minus 4, and why we would say it's 2i. So every complex number can be written in terms of a real part, plus, it could be a negative as well, plus or minus an imaginary part, where I is always a symbol that's representing the square root of minus 1. So if you wanted to work out what I squared was, you would square both sides here and you would get minus 1. So I squared is minus 1, square root of minus 1 is I. Okay, so let's look at the general structure of a complex number here. We've got some real part and the imaginary parts here, but we're going to have a term in front of the I part here, where that part that's in front of the imaginary part there is a real number itself. A and B here are real numbers. Okay, so let's look at what we can do with this piece of maths here that we're now going to go on and develop further. Adding together complex numbers works exactly how you would think it would. You add your numbers together, your numbers that are just on their own, and you add together the imaginary parts together. Effectively, if it was 2 plus 5x plus 7 plus 3x, you would add your x's and add your numbers together. So just as you would naturally think it would be, it'd be 9 plus 8i. Subtracting complex numbers works exactly the same here, and be careful as well for the double negative that will appear when you take away minus 11i. That will turn into a positive value. So multiply out your brackets and group together your like terms. So 2 minus 5 will give you a minus 3, and minus 5i add 11i will give you 6i. And you can times by a whole value as well. You can actually times by a complex number as well. We'll see that in the second video in this series. But for now, it's 6 lots of this 1 plus 3i. And just expand the brackets as you normally would. 6 plus 18i. So with these complex numbers, we're going to start to develop a bit of maths, a bit more fluency with this square root of minus 1 term. And it's all making sense so far. We just follow the natural rules of maths adding together algebra, subtracting algebra, and expanding brackets as you think you would do. Let's have a look at what we would do for this minus square root of minus 36. Now you've seen a bit of this earlier with the square root of minus 4. The first thing you would do is split this up into a square root of 36 and the square root of minus 1. We're always looking to create a square root of minus 1 because that's what we use as I. It'd be impossible for us to use all sorts of different letters to represent square roots of different numbers, so we're not going to do it that way. We're always going to split it up into a square root of minus 1 times a real surd, a real square root value. And square root of 36 here gives me 6, so it's going to be 6i. So when you work out the square root of minus 36, it's 6 from the square root of 36 and I from the square root of the minus 1 part. Right, square root of minus 28, so not as easy as that, but it's pretty much the same principles here. Split it up into a square root of 28 and a square root of minus 1. Can we simplify the square root of 28 further? Yes, square root of 4, square root of 7, and then the square root of 4 can be written as 2, so it would be 2 times the square root of 7 times I, where I is your square root of minus 1. And some people tend to write it like this, 2i square root of 7. We tend to put the square roots at the end of a algebraic expression, but either way is fine. You'd be given the correct mark for either of those different ways of doing it. Right, so let's start to use these complex numbers in a situation. Now we've got x squared plus 9 equals 0. Okay, so let's start to use the complex numbers in a given situation here. Now we've got x squared plus 9 equals 0. So solving this as a quadratic equation, let's take the 9 onto the other side and square root. Make sure now when you square root at this point here, when you square root something, you're creating a positive or negative. So it's positive or negative, the square root of minus 9. And split this up, so it's square root of 9 times square root of minus 1. So this is therefore going to be plus or minus 3i. And that's what you would expect. Generally, when you've got a quadratic equation, you're going to get two solutions. So it's plus 3i and negative 3i. Okay, make sure that you generally write out all of this solution here, and by the time you've had a go at a lot of questions and you've become very fluent at this, then you can do these in your head. A slightly different question here then. We've got x squared plus 6x plus 25 equals 0. So you'll have seen very similar questions to this at GCSE. We've got a few methods at doing this. We've got completing the square. So remember, you halve the 6 and put it into the bracket. Let's think why we do that. Well, when you've got an x plus 3 squared, you times the bracket by itself. So you'll get x squared plus 6x, and then you'll get plus 9. So to balance that out, we're therefore going to add on 16, because we've already got a plus 9 from creating this x plus 3 squared. So to make the 25, we've already got plus 9. 9 plus something equals 25. That something is plus 16 equals 0. So now let's go ahead and solve it. So we subtract the 16 onto the other side, and we then do a square root. Now remember, because we're square rooting here, we need to make it positive or negative square root, and then subtract the 3 onto the other side. So your answer here is x equals minus 3 plus or minus the square root of minus 16. Now we're going to simplify this minus 16 here, and hopefully you've got the hang of it by now. Split it up into a square root of 16 square root of minus 1, and the final answer here is going to be x equals minus 3 plus or minus 4i. So that's you completing the square method of solving this equation here. You can also use the quadratic formula as well, so substituting your values of a equals 1, b equals 6, and c equals 25. And as long as you follow through the maths okay, you should get to a point here where you've got x equals minus 6 plus or minus the square root of minus 64 over 2. So split that square root of minus 64 into square root of 64 and minus 1. And then you'll get minus 6 plus or minus 8 from the square root of 64 times the square root of minus 1, which is just I. And then you'll have a little sneak preview into how we divide by numbers here. You're going to divide the minus 6 by 2 and the 8 by 2. So your answer there is going to be minus 3 plus or minus 4i. So you've got two different methods there of solving quadratic equations where your answers are now going to be complex. In this case here, it's probably easier completing the square in my opinion, but you'll have your own preference there. Alright then, so 4 questions here. Then what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video now, have a go at these 4 questions, really try hard on them, don't just give up straight away, but pause the video and we'll go through the answers after you've had a go. Alright then, let's have a go at 1a now. So hopefully the square root of negative numbers is really familiar to you now. All you have to do is split it up into the square root of your normal part, your positive part, and then leave the square root of minus 1 at the end. So that's going to become I. The square root of minus 1 is always I. And what is the square root of 9? Well, that's 3. So your answer here is 3i. Adding together complex, just to show you one thing, there's a complex number mode on your calculator. Now, if you've got this brand of calculator here, which we always recommend for A-level maths and further maths, click the menu button and hit option number 2. That's your complex numbers mode. And what you can do with that is you can square root negative values, which is pretty awesome. You'll know you're in the correct mode because there's an I at the top of your screen. So square rooting that minus 9 and you'll get exactly what we've got as an answer here, 3i. Now it's not plus or minus 3i in this case here because the square root here is just referring to the positive square root. It's only when you're solving an x squared equals 9, minus 9 equation that you'd have your positive and negative. Moving on to the next part over here, so let's add together the real parts, 13. Let's add together the imaginary parts, 11. So it's 13 plus 11i, and you can do that on your calculator as well. Simplifying this term here, well remember it's just dividing the first part by 2 and dividing the second part by 2 to give you 3 minus 2i. And you can always check that on your calculator as well. 6 minus 4i divided by 2 will give you 3 minus 2i. And as well, solving this equation here can also be done on your calculator as well. Let's have a go at it ourselves first. So I think here I'm going to complete the square. So half the 2 to make a 1, put it inside the bracket. And then we'll subtract the 1 because we subtract 1 squared. And then it's add the 5 because that's what's outside the brackets. Simplify by taking it all onto the other side. And then we will square root both sides. So z plus 1 equals positive or negative, square root minus 4. We'll sort that out later. And then we'll take away the 1 onto the other side. Now let's sort this out now. Square root of minus 4 is going to be square root of 4 times square root of minus 1. And here that's going to give us 2i. So our answer here is minus 1 plus or minus 2i. Let's see this work on your calculator. Try and ignore the red writing, do apologise. Now, we're going to solve a quadratic equation here. So scroll right the way down once you've hit menu to equations solver. It's option number A. Now what you need is hit setup, so it's shift and then menu, and scroll down until you get to a complex result mode, and you want to click that on. So hit option number 1, so you want complex results on, and then solve your quadratic equation. You want 1 in the x squared position, 2 in the x position, and 5 on the end. Doesn't matter that they're x's or z's really. Press enter and you'll get minus 1 plus 2i and minus 1 minus 2i, just like we've got here. Well, minus 1 plus or minus 2i. So there we are then. So this is a little bit of a sample of the questions you'll experience in exercise 1a. It'd be a really good idea now if you were to go to those exercises and have plenty of practice at this. We're going to develop further on from this, and the maths is going to get a lot harder. So it's really important that you're really fluent in the basics, so that when the harder stuff comes, this basic operations of complex numbers is going to be very familiar to you. Alright then, well thank you very much for watching this video. Go ahead now and answer some questions from exercise 1A and B. Don't give up straight away, do persevere through those difficult ones, and if you get really stuck then do ask your teacher for help. Thanks for watching.